IRTech, no, you don't need to fill out anything in the construct node for the player controller or anything like that. All of this is going directly into the actor begin overlap. Okay, at the very end of this, go ahead and do a set button text, which will come into play here in just a moment when we get to the actual full-on script of what we're doing. This is mostly the initialize and the uninitialized, like the end overlap. So end overlap, and pretty much we're going to go in reverse now. We're going to disable input. Set that up on the player controller there. We're going to set the text for the text render actor. Oh, okay. In this case, it actually targeted the text renderer itself, so we don't have to plug anything into the target pin. And the value for the set text on the away is going to be just goodbye. Set update array. We want to zero the update array out, which again I'll get to in just a moment. Let's see. We need to remove the widget here from viewport. It's going to make me drag right off of the create widget. Move from parent. Okay. Something to know is with widgets, for some reason that so far I don't know anyone who actually knows why, it is add to viewport, remove from parent. If you need to get rid of a UMG, remove from parent. If you need to add it, add to viewport. I don't know why that is. It's confusing, and honestly, we need to do something to make it more user-friendly. I'm gonna go with user-friendly. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna cast to the PC control again. Set show mouse cursor, and we're gonna show that as false. So leave the checkbox unchecked. And that is it there. The last thing we need to do is create a custom event. We're going to call this leaving. And I'll get to why in just a moment. Okay. So now that we've got this set up, which as you can see, it's a pretty long little chain of events here. We're going to come up to a new location. Create 3 custom events. I'm going to call it answer 1, answer 2, custom event. You have to type in custom event for each one instead of making a new event from there, which is kind of weird, but it works. Custom events, answer 3, and custom event, answer 4. Go ahead on answer 4, and you want to go ahead and get leaving, because all that's going to do is back you out. So let's say you're in a typical adventure RPG game, and you know how you have those conversation points with NPCs, and there's always an answer to just leave the conversation. That's what this is going to be for. Okay, now we're going to drag off of here, set int. Oh, okay. Well, you're gonna be like that. And we're gonna create 3 of those. We want 0, 1, and 2. So every time you get answer 1, it's going to set the int to 0. Answer 2 is going to set it to 1. Answer 3 is going to set it to 2. Okay. Now the next portion, this one is a little weird. There's a node called select. Now this node is awesome, but it is incredibly fragile. The thing to know about the select node is once you have it completely set the way you want it, if you want to add or remove any arrays, you have to create a new select node and replace it. If you don't, like if you leave one empty or if you try to add more to it, it can break it and just cause all kinds of crappy stuff to happen. Now, we need some make arrays. And these arrays are going to have 3 pins each. So we're going to add array element pin. And we are going to plug in our answers. There we go. And we'll just make a copy paste. Oop, there we go. And paste. There we go. And as I was saying on Wednesday, one of the cool things you can do is just drag these variables and drop them, because that will automatically change what you are doing. 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3. We need one more set for question 3. Question and Okay, so now we've got question 0, which is your initial walked in. Then you've got question 1, question 2, and question 3, which it doesn't have to be questions. That's just what I called them because that's what I've got in the tutorial, and I figured it was easy to follow. Okay, now we need to add 2 more options. And we're going to go ahead and plug in our arrays to each of these select pins. And the index, we do not want wildcard, we want the update array. There we go. We're going to go ahead, grab the return value here. And where is... You want to plug that into the button text that you created initially. So, kind of look like that, where it's the event begin play, and then at the very end where the set button text is, go ahead and plug the set button text in, or the select into that. Okay, let's get back to here. Okay, here comes the next part. We want to go ahead and create a branch. Drag off of the condition. Drag off the update array here. Do an equals equals integer. Now, what we want here is for update to array, my apologies. We want update array to equal 0. At least at first. Plug all 3 of your branches, or your sets, into the branch. English is failing me today, if you have not noticed. And let's see, right after that, if it is true, we want to create another branch. We're going to create 3 of those. Go ahead and plug the falses into each other. Okay, so what are we going to put here? Well, that is easy. We're going to put an equals equals integer in each one. Apparently I have an error in my About Me section. That is perfectly okay. I promise it will not hurt anything. So, what we want to do here is check to see what integer value we have put in. Oop. Oh goodness, what did I do? Okay, there we go. Just go ahead and drag off of here and plug it into each of these values. We want 0, 1, and 2. let's see. Branch. If it is true, we want to set text on the text render actor, and we'll set these in just a minute. Set text, because we're not entirely sure what all we want to say. Then we're going to update the array. So I'm going to set the array to either 1, 2, or 3, depending on what the player put. Boop. And boop. And then finally, we need to set the button text. There we go. Okay. Now, as you can see, so for question 0, we're going to come in, it's going to say, okay, did you press 1, 2, or 3? If you pressed 1, we're going to set the text to whatever we set it to. If you press 2, we're going to set it to that. Press 3, we're going to set it here. You know what we're going to go with? You're George Bush. Are you George Bush? And why the hell am I talking to you? Okay. So then, this is where it gets kind of easy. Is all we have to do is copy paste for this part. And we're going to need some more room here, so I'm going to grab all of this. Well, let's grab all of this first, drag it up, and drag all of this up. Drag this up a little bit more. There. Okay. So what we want to do is on this branch, drag a few more branches out. So if it's not question 0, we want to check and see if it's question 1, then question 2, question 3. Two, 3. Actually, we don't even need this portion, because if it's not question 0, 1, or 2, then it must be 3. Ha ha! Don't you like how math works? Reroute nodes are my friend, but I'm kind of in a rush. I don't want to sit here and try to play with all the reroute nodes. Right now, they're tedious. I like them, but they're tedious. Let's see. Okay, and we need 2 more of these. Oh, and actually, I did one thing wrong, which I can fix here in just a second. Actually, yes, we probably could, or at least a function. But in this case, because I want to make sure I change the values per, I don't really want to mess with that too much. However, let's collapse these into a single macro node. There we go. Well, at least make it cleaner. And we're going to change that in just a minute, because all those need to be changed. So what I did here was if you right click, you can collapse them to a macro. You could also